All right, everybody, this is John, and welcome to the free video. We'll start off looking at this risk asset, Bitcoin. It's really the best asset out there in terms of determining, are we in a risk on or risk off kind of a situation. Of course, the April lows here, this has coincided with a nice stock market rally. And now we're starting to see a little bit of kind of back and forth. We've got a daily squeeze in place. And we also have kind of the shorter term cycle timings where when you see something like that, you're setting in for a month, multi-month, possibly high. And that's, you never know with that. But when I see something like this, it's just kind of like, all right, we've got some momentum, we've got cycles. Then it's just, the initial thing is just like some basic fib levels. All right. So, a healthy pullback would be to the 382. More normal pullback would be into this 50 and 618. All right. Over here, we got the voodoo lines, and this is on an hourly or 30-minute chart. Let's bring this on to the daily, and we can kind of see where the key voodoo lines are. The big fire line here isn't down here until 87,000, and that's below this pocket here. So there's not really, there's nothing here saying like we're about to, imminently collapse or anything like that. Collapse is a strong word, pullback. But just keep an eye on this because we're not going to see a situation where Bitcoin's falling and stocks are going up. So it's just not going to happen. And if we look at the S&Ps here, the part that I'm looking at is we've got a squeeze that's fired off to the long side. But we've also taken out that key 6,000 level. And so there's really no support now until 5,900. And then tomorrow on Wednesday is the monthly VIX expiration. And so if there's going to be any weird moves to the downside, it happens that day. But of course, then over lunch, we've got FOMC meeting where they're not expected to do anything. So all the things. Also, we've got the first sell signal in the SPX. That's the momentum reversal. It's the first one since back in January. So that's not to be alarmist or anything. I know this one, obviously, we saw a lot of selling after that. But normally when you see this, at the very least, you get a reversion back to the mean, and that would take us to the fire line. Okay, so not a huge thing. Just, again, we've just seen a lot of nice up moves. It's been pretty easy to the upside. I would say at this point, that can be, we're kind of in a little bit more challenging kind of phase. And the rut typically can lead lower, and here we are now, working our way back. One of the trades that we did today that we've been watching, CRWV, we've had a couple of nice trades on it. This is a 30-minute chart, watching this 30-minute squeeze forming. And, when there's a 30-minute squeeze, you're kind of looking for these moving averages to clump together, and you want to try to, buy closer to that 21 EMA if you can. And then the idea is, and this was the old prior high here at 166.63. The idea here then is just like, all right, is this thing going to come up to the prior high and fail? Or is it going to come up to that prior high and explode? And that's where these kind of momentum tools come into play. So as we got into this, and it's the idea is like, all right, we're coming up to the prior high. So, should we take this off because it's going to be a double top, or is it going to go through? And so when it's testing this prior high at 166.63 in this case, and the bars are blue, then typically you've got enough momentum to power through. And in fact, it just kind of exploded and headed up to this 1272 extension. Now, on this particular one, we did a debit spread 10 days out, so we got more time. And for this particular one, we did the 170-190, which is further out of the money, with the idea of giving it a little bit more room, because since we do have momentum in play, that it opens up the possibility of a move to where, and that would be, of course, up to the 1618 extension. So we may not get there, right? But the fact that there's momentum here, I love that it's a newer company. There's not a lot of baggage. We're at all-time highs. And then when this thing moves, it can move pretty quickly. I mean, we went from 166 to 175, 9-10 points in very quickly. And after some consolidation here and some back and forth, we can keep that Momo going. Then we're looking for another pop up to that level. And so this brings up a good question because, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the Squeeze Pro. I'm looking at it on multiple timelines, and then also kind of using that with this kind of momentum tool. If you guys aren't familiar with the Squeeze Pro, let me show you a couple of setups that we've done with it this year. So at its best, the Squeeze Pro highlights, we've had there's some earlier here in Meta, and then you get this consolidation. And the Squeeze Pro just lets you know that the squeeze is like, hey, heads up. The black dots are simply saying like, hey, we're starting to tighten up here. We may get an OG squeeze, which are the red dots. So that's kind of a tighter configuration. And so that's just kind of a good heads up. It's like, oh, we may get a red dot squeeze here. And because when you see the black dots, generally things are starting to slow down. It's like, all right, we got the red dots. We're at the 21 EMA. Let's start accumulating a position. And then after it fires, on average, it's an 8 to 10 bar move. And in this case, it was pretty fantastic. And so that's the things that we like to look at. And you can use this on a daily chart or, hourly chart or anything that you like to do on that. So I'm going to be doing an updated class on the Squeeze Pro as part of the Mastering the Trade University series. And I'll be doing this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central. And of course, it'll be recorded if you can't make it. A lot of you are already signed up for that. If you haven't, you should be able to see a link here where if you want to sign up for this Squeeze Pro class, and again, it's just kind of a deep dive into what the Squeeze Pro is. We'll look at examples that are working now and how to use it in this current market. And then from there, the kind of the Mastering the Trade University, every about 4 to 5 weeks, we're doing another in-depth section, kind of mirroring the chapters of the book where it's like, hey, these are updates. This is what's working now and all that kind of fun stuff. So should be great. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you at the next update. Hey, John here with Simpler Trading. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, comment down below and let us know what topic you want to see us cover next. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you can get notified when we release new videos. And if you want to watch us trade in real time using our own money, go to simplertrading.com and learn how to sign up. Good trading, and we'll see you next time.